ดีค่ะ Good evening and welcome to Chatroom and happy Halloween. And we're back once again with a lot of social media dramas in Thailand as well as the hottest stories. I'm Nat Bunak.
I'm กิติพัชเชื่อสุขจิต
I'm วริศราแซ่หัน
So you can see that we're still in the mood of Halloween even though it is already over because we still have a lot of related stories and especially from yesterday as well because there have been Halloween events as well. But we're pretty sure that many of you have enjoyed Halloween one way or the other, whether it's through parties, whether you're celebrating at home or even at least on social media where many people posted photos of themselves dressing up for Halloween as well.
Is our makeup for today is about after party.
Yeah.
And look at me, I'm so odd for today's makeup.
No, you're not.
You're not odd.
You look so like a bit normal, but for me it's different.
Well, you could be a little bit. Well, you could be a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Because mine is quite, soft comparison to you two on the screen right now. Even though I have this spider web.
Yeah, you have this spider web right here, right? But it's like you really have to look at it in order to be noticeable. It's not that noticeable from a distance, so you can't tell. But I look at Kutipat right now, you can see that he has full-on makeup, and it might remind you of Joker in a way.
Right?
Actually, I am not dressing and making up as for the Halloween party.
Oh,
it's like sleepless guy who just ate raw beef.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right, that could be
But
it.
at least it's still like Halloween related.
Yeah.
But if you look at my makeup right now, it doesn't look that Halloween theme to begin with. Like if you can see, it's like smoky eyes or something.
Smoky makeup.
Yeah. So at least it's still related to the theme, even though Halloween is already over. But anyway, yesterday, Bangkok also celebrates Halloween like no other with a huge event at Khaosan Road. So as you can see right now, that is the atmosphere at Khaosan Road yesterday where many Thais and foreign tourists were dressed up for the Halloween event, which is called Khaosan Halloween 2023. So you can see that many people were dressed up as ghosts and mythical creatures, and some people had really cute headbands just to show that they're into Halloween. And this event was organized by Khaosan Business Association, as well as Pratakon District Office, Chanasongkhram Police Station, as well as private sectors. And this event took place in hopes to boost local tourism and the economy. So you can see that many people flocked to this event to celebrate Halloween. But to ensure safety for all visitors yesterday, 88 police officers and tourist police were deployed, including weapon detectors at all entrance and exit gates, and even ambulances on standby. So you can see that there's really high security there because there have been lessons learned from many of the incidents, particularly with the Itaewon tragedy last year where many people died from suffocation. If we all remember the incident, the Itaewon tragedy there was a Halloween event, but because of how crowded it was, many people suffocated and unfortunately lost their lives because of that. And another lesson that they've learned as well was the mass shootings. So that was why the the security has been pumped up yesterday, so to ensure the safety for all tourists who attended the event. And look at that. Many people were like, oh my God, they were wearing like Halloween costumes to a whole different level here.
The makeup is so creative.
You two should make up like that,
I mean, that could be interesting for
you should be making up like that. Actually, in this live video.
I mean, you did good on this one too.
But you can see that many people were really into Halloween and many people take this as like the only day that they could really dress up the way they really want. For example, like in real life, there's no way we could dress up like that. Because people would think that we're crazy. But Halloween is like you can dress up like whoever you want,
Yeah.
whether it's like a Thai ghost or like a witch or just like Casper or any mythical creatures.
Yes.
And some people even dressed up like their favorite characters, such as Barbie, because the Barbie movie has been really popular like a few months ago. Some people dressed up as Barbie or even like other cartoon characters. And Halloween is actually an opportunity to dress up as whoever they want to be.
Yeah, because normally I am not only seeing the people wearing the ghost costume. Many people wearing like very cute costume
Yeah.
from comics, from like romantic movies. Yeah.
Like cartoon characters, comics as well, and many people love to do that as well.
I noticed like in the Western side, they would be more interested. I mean, they all could be more interested in dressing up like a celebrity, like celebrities or like famous people, you know, or their favorite characters. So, I mean, it is really interesting, and it's also interesting apart from trick and treat, like tradition, to like ask people like, oh, guess what am I for now? Something like that on Halloween. It's really fun and creative.
Yeah, and Halloween nowadays is more than just trick or treat. It's like normally when we think of Halloween, we would think of people dressing up as ghosts or witches or jacklers or vampires, but nowadays people can wear whatever they want now.
Yeah.
It's just like to get into the character that they would not or really don't do in real lives.
Yeah.
Anyway, even though many people have enjoyed Halloween during parties and with their families, but some people have took this to another level, and that includes police officers, where they have decided to dress up as ghosts to arrest a suspected thief. So this actually took place in Bangkok, actually yesterday as well, because police dressed up as ghosts to arrest a suspected thief at a department store in Bangkok. And a Metropolitan Police commander said he received a tip that the suspect would take his girlfriend to watch a movie in the department store and to celebrate Halloween. He then assigned his team to disguise themselves as ghosts and to mingle with other moviegoers there. And this is what has really happened. Okay, I know this is quite awkward, but this really happened yesterday. And when the police saw the suspect, the team approached him and asked whether he wanted to take photos with them. And when the suspect agreed, the police surrounded him and identified themselves and arrested him straight away. And this is what actually happened.
Yeah, maybe police can do this every day to cover their identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was a perfect timing because yesterday was Halloween.
Yeah.
And when they received a tip that, okay, the suspect is going to watch a movie with his girlfriend, so maybe just get into the vibes of Halloween, dress up as ghosts, and then just like, hey, do you want to take a photo with us? And later on, hey, we're the police, we're here to arrest you.
What a surprise and shocking at the same time.
It's really a surprise because, like, one thing we have to admit, nowadays when we have like events, let's say like if a movie is released, there will be like people dressing up as cartoon characters, and that will attract the moviegoers to take photos with them and to create memories. So let's say there's like an animation that just released in theaters.
Yeah.
So someone would dress up like that particular character and then take photos with moviegoers, and that's like some sort of marketing nowadays. Like, so let's say like one of the most memorable parts was like Despicable Me, for example. Like when it was released, there were people dressing up as minions, and then they would take photos with the minions so that they can post on social media. And that has become a trend. And because yesterday was Halloween, the police have disguised themselves as ghosts to arrest the suspect. So I think that was pretty creative.
Yeah. I mean, another level, as you say. Indeed, yeah.
And one of the incidents that is very interesting is when the nun, the Western movies, the Western horror movies aired, and in the cinema, there's the one who cosplay as the nun to haunt people at the cinema.
Oh God.
And when people buying the ticket, and they wearing the nun costume and stand like this. And when the people turn around like this and they wow. And they ran away and
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So people were really into that.
yeah, that's quite. I think it means that's quite danger for people who have heart attack.
Right.
So some people can die from that, you know.
Like
Yeah,
because
that
they were
could be-
shocked and they got a
Yeah.
heart attack
Yeah.
because of seeing the nun.
Yeah, seeing the nun and wearing the nun mask here with a whole white face and small black eye and do like this, just standing. And
I mean,
it's haunted.
there was a discount, like there was a discount and promotion for people who wore like costume going to watch a movie. So
Yeah.
there were some sort of like promotion and marketing, you know, encouraging people to come to watch a movie or doing
Yes.
certain activities.
Yeah, exactly. But like back to the issue of police officers, it's really interesting and also creative to see that the police have disguised themselves as a ghost or whatever it is to go with the theme of Halloween, disguise themselves and then arrest the thief. So
Yeah.
that is really interesting because like in other cases, there have been cases where police have to disguise themselves as other people so that they can get in touch with the thief. So it's a lot easier to arrest them because
Yeah.
if they go into a place and identify themselves as police officers straight away, people might panic. So I would say this one is pretty interesting.
Very
And
creative.
very like what should we call it? It wouldn't be noticeable as well
Yeah.
for the suspect, you know. After the police came and he was like, oh, he went with the flow, and
Yeah.
eventually, shocking.
But I think I saw that they wearing police shirt, right? Police
Yeah.
polo
One of them,
shirt.
right?
Yeah, one of them, and with the police sign at their back, and no one noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one noticed because the police officers had actually interacted with other moviegoers so that the thief does not realize that what they're actually doing. So that is pretty sneaky.
And right
Yeah.
now, thieves is not there enough to see the movie at the cinema anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, since we are talking about the Halloween and spooky things, we cannot forget about talking about the Thai horror movies.
Right.
Yep. All right, the most popular Thai movies right now is a horror movie which is Tiyot and Sapare, which is right now took the Thai office, both of them. Okay, we begin with Sapare, also known as The Undertaker, which was released on October the 5th. The horror comedy film tells the story of two young men from Isan, or the northern east of Thailand, who works as an undertaker, and one of them has a romantic relationship with a woman. But their love story ends in tragedy. The film Sapare already grossed almost 700 million baht and became the highest grossing film in almost a decade. It has been very successful to a point where Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin and Paetongtarn Shinawatra had to go to watch the film. Wow. While Tiyot was released on October 26th, tells a story of a horrifying and mysterious death of a young girl in a village in Kanchanaburi province. The film has grossed over 300 million baht so far and also became one of the top grossing Thai films for this year. Interestingly, Tiyot grossed a record 39 million baht on its first day of a release, and it took only 3 days for Tiyot to gross over 100 million baht, which is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can
Comparing another movies.
Yeah, and we can say that this has proven that horror movies have been really successful in Thailand, especially Sapare and Tiyot.
Yes.
These two movies have took Thai box office by storm. So
Yep.
we can see that the Thai audience is already into horror movies to begin with.
Actually, audience around the world, but Thai audience is especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you all, why are horror movie always popular in Thailand?
We can say that the issue of ghosts is somehow related to superstition and supernatural themes. I think it's somehow related to the cultural beliefs in Thai culture as well. So most of the rural areas mostly believe in ghosts, and they always have myths and just word of mouth about seeing a ghost somewhere. Even though these issues have not been proven scientifically. But it also links to like the belief of what we've committed when we're alive and what happens after life. So there have been like sayings, like since we were young, we may have heard of like ghost stories before, and that is related to what we have done when we're alive. And then becoming a ghost or whatever it is related to what you've done as well. So for example, there is a ghost, like a hungry ghost named Pret. A Pret is like if you abuse your parents or you commit a sin, you will die and become a hungry ghost in afterlife. That is just one of the examples. Or even the ghosts, there's a belief that the reason why there are ghosts is because they have not made enough merit when they were alive, and they do not have that enough merit to be reincarnated. And at the same time, some people also believe that ghosts exist because they are still worried about their loved ones who are still alive, or either seeking revenge of somebody who have caused them pain. So therefore, they have not been reincarnated. These are just some of the beliefs, but there are still much more that we are not able to discuss because there are a lot of theories behind it. But then all about ghosts, it's mostly superstition and based on cultural beliefs. But if you look from a scientific perspective, ghosts do not exist to them. So this is something that it's hard to explain, but Thai people have always been talking about ghosts and superstition throughout their lives anyway. And people seem to believe in that. Your thoughts?
How about you?
Well, I think it is a good point that you brought up about religions and believing, in Thai context, Thai cultures, because most Thais are Buddhist in Thailand, so there would be some of the some of the lessons, some of the rules for a certain group of people, or even like for the Buddhist people, they would they would say something like, oh, if you hurt your parents, you're gonna be like a hungry ghost, and something like that. So I think it is really linked to Thai people.
Yeah, it's linked to this belief called karma. What goes around comes around, but it's not necessarily in like your present life, but it could also mean afterlife or when you're reincarnated. So the belief of karma is that, let's say if you abuse your parents, for example, if in this present life, the next life, you might get abusive parents. This is just one example of karma. In Thai culture.
One belief about karma in Thai culture.
Exactly. And the issue of karma, committing sins, or making merit, it revolves around people's lives, especially in Thai culture. Buddhism, to be very specific, as well.
You want to continue your thoughts?
Oh.
Or is all?
Yeah, I think that will be all.
Yeah, for me, I think there are 3 pinpoints for me. First is the unique local myth and folklore, which you talk about it already. And the second is about the word of mouth and the fan communities. Because Tiyot, talking about Tiyot, it was viral in Pantip webboard for many years, and it's been widely popular after one of family members from the originate story. The one of family members come to tell the real story. I don't know if it's real or not, but they said it's real story to the live video with the ghost radio in YouTube. And after that, it's the word of mouth, and the fan communities of the ghost radio is a lot, because this channel is one of the most popular ghost channel in Thailand.
Right.
Yeah, and the third one is the moral thing and the karma thing, because Thai people like to explore the karma. Thai people like to see the consequences of the past action or the supernatural retribution to the wrongdoing.
Right, and another part that we also have to mention is that the issue of ghosts can actually be used as a lesson to teach children as well, because we often use ghosts to teach children in a sense where, like, back to the issue of เปรต So let's say you're teaching children to actually do good things and not to commit to sin. They would often use ghosts to threat children so that they do not commit a crime or do something that is illegal. So these ghosts would often use to scare these children as well. So children will be like, okay, I will not do this or else I'll become a ghost or whatever it is. This is Thai culture, but I'm not sure for other cultures, but this is what many Thai people seem to have learned throughout their lives, most of them.
And that method is not good for kids' psychology.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? Why?
Yes. Teaching kids must explain the real thing, not to threat them. Yeah, it's quite normal. Threatening them like, there's a ghost there, don't go there. They won't understand the real thing. But if they believe in the ghost and that place, there are ghosts there, don't go. That's about the belief. It's not about the psychology. Yeah. But if sometime in some family they use ghosts to threat without believing in ghosts, that's not good. That's not good for kids' psychology.
Well, even though we use ghosts to threat children, but when they grow up, we have to actually explain with real reasoning, not just ghosts all the time. It doesn't make sense when they grow up, actually. Because, like, for certain people, when it comes to beliefs, it's different for people because some people do believe in ghosts, but some people don't. So this is something that is quite subjective.
It's like making the black dot in the mind of the children. And if that black dot was has been made in their 3 years old, and it will be forever.
I mean, in some people, well, I think the myth or the lessons that their parents, give it to them when they were little. I mean, it could be threat and scared like in that the children up until they're grown up. So in some cases, in some people, they're still, afraid of doing bad thing because of some myth or lesson that their parents taught.
Right. We'll put a pause on the issue of ghosts right now because we're going to talk about something that is much more serious, which is the issue related to the digital wallet scheme. So the digital wallet scheme remains an online controversy. And last week, Thai netizens took to social media to complain after the government revealed that rich people will not be allowed to receive the 10,000 baht of digital money under the digital wallet scheme. And the definition of rich people is yet to be finalized. So the subcommittee tasked with considering the digital wallet scheme has proposed that rich people should be omitted because they're still divided over who qualifies as rich because the word rich is pretty subjective anyway. So the subcommittee last week has come up with 3 options. The first option is that the digital wallet scheme should be limited to the 15 to 60 million low-income earners or state welfare card holders, or some people call it as บัตรคนจน. So the second option is that those who earn more than 25,000 baht per month or who have 100,000 baht in their bank accounts be omitted from the digital wallet scheme. And the third option is that those who earn more than 50,000 baht per month or who have at least 500,000 baht in their bank accounts should be omitted from the digital wallet scheme. But if we recall what happened during the elections, under the original scheme that was proposed by Pheu Thai Party, all Thai nationals who are 16 and older would receive the benefit to buy goods and or services from registered outlets within a 4-kilometer radius of their residences and from blue flag shops within 6 months. So here is the main contradiction here. If we go back during the election manifesto from the Pheu Thai Party, they said that everyone aged 16 and above will get the digital wallet scheme. But this time around, it's like they're omitting rich people. But the word rich itself is very subjective at the moment, and especially with option number 2 that we just mentioned, that those who earn more than 25,000 baht per month will be omitted from the scheme because they're considered rich. And many people took this to social media to either criticize and even make a joke about it, that all of a sudden I became rich because I earned 25,000 baht a month.
Yeah.
So the question is, how should rich people actually be defined?
As it is so subjective, it depends on the context and location. Yep, the context of their life and the location where they live, and the economy situation there.
Because I think each person has their own like different background.
Yep.
So some people they would earn like 50,000, but they don't have to pay for rent or they don't have to pay for their living costs and all that stuff. But you know, in the contrast, some people do. So I mean, it cannot be defined in my perspective.
Right, and this actually reflects the inequality gap here, because if you compare someone living in Bangkok and those living in Nong Bualampu, their earnings are completely different to begin with. And considering the daily minimum wage is also completely different, the lifestyles are different as well. And each of the provinces each have their own inequality issues here. And we don't have to mention the issue of poor people and rich people because they're too different to begin with. But there's a lot of differences in Thailand in terms of the economic situation. And when it comes to defining rich people, this really depends, what do you use as a benchmark and what do you use to judge? If you compare with the entire country and then find the average, it is really difficult because there's still this belief in Thai, it's รวยกระจุกจนกระจาย because the super rich people or the elites is still like a minority, while most of the people like in rural areas are like almost everywhere. So where do you define so let's say we put 25,000 baht a month. If you base it from people living in poverty, of course it's a lot. But if you compare it with office workers, this is actually like the minimum salary nowadays, even for the new graduates. And if you compare this with billionaires, 25,000 baht is like absolutely nothing. So what do you use to judge here?
Even though we can't define the rich people, but if you have to, I think there are 3 factors that you have to make it as a measurement. First one is to compare the income and outcome. Which is hard to do it, right? Thailand, we have like 70 million, right?
70 million.
In the country. So to make it individually is quite hard. And comparing the income and outcome for everyone in the country, like in Bangkok, in Nong Bualampu, is totally different. And also the net worth and asset ownership has also an important factor to be counted.
Right, but if you omit the billionaires, that would be a completely different story. Because like if you go on the Forbes website and you go through the list of billionaires in Thailand, this is obvious that there are rich people. But then this really depends on the government, how they actually define it. It comes from the government and they have to really clarify what do they mean by rich people, because it remains subjective for many people. Like, for example, when we think of rich people, you might think of billionaires, people living in penthouses. But some people think rich is earning like 1 million baht. This is really subjective. So the government has to actually find a consensus on what do you mean by rich people in order to actually continue with their policies.
I think one thing is that people, apart from like the subjective, targeted or, judged rich people. I think one thing that people would be sad about is they would be disappointed because remember back to the campaign เพื่อไทย government was really campaigning about digital wallet scheme really put people hopes up so I think apart from defining rich or poor people one thing is that disappointment is for sure there for the people for the Thai people
as is different from their campaign because they didn't mention this while they are campaigning about the scheme but hereafter
Right, so we'll have to wait and see how the government will actually explain themselves and whether they will provide any more clarification in terms of the digital wallet scheme, especially with how they actually define who will be qualified for the digital wallet scheme.
So subjective. And another social media drama in Thailand is no other than the social boycott on traveling to South Korea. Last time we talked about the Thai influencer being detained and later deported from South Korea. This time more and more netizens revealed their own stories of being deported from South Korea, pushing the hashtag ban traveling to Korea as the most top trending topics. The social media drama came after some netizens recounted their experiences being detained for questioning before being deported from South Korea. Some even complained that despite having prepared all the documents to prove their credibility, their entry was still denied. Among the most popular posts was when a netizen recalled her experience where the immigration officers asked her, "You've already been to South Korea 4 times. Isn't this enough?"
Wow. That's pretty harsh.
Netizens commented that South Korea doesn't want Thais to enter the country to begin with, which led to discrimination and mistreatment of Thai tourists. Some also criticized how South Korean immigration officers turned a blind eye in accepting illegal migrant workers, but chose to discriminate against Thai tourists. They also felt that if all Thais stop traveling to South Korea, this will be enough to send a message to the government. Okay, as the netizen post on their Facebook about what South Korean officer said, these are her words. But we, as the reporter, we cannot verify it as it's true or not. But it's her words. So the question is, how would this discourage Thais from traveling to South Korea?
Well, we can see that social media has made an impact on people's minds as well, especially with the issue how Thais are being treated by South Korean immigration officers, and especially when there are more and more cases of Thais being deported. So that would discourage Thais from entering South Korea to begin with, even though South Korea has made a phenomenal impact in many cultures around the world, especially in Thailand. Thailand has a strong fan base of K-pop, K-drama, and everything Korean. But then with this case, and there are more and more cases, of course, people will be more discouraged. But one thing that we have to point out is that there have been cases about illegal migrant workers, also known as Pinoi, so little ghosts, because a lot of Thais have sought to work illegally in South Korea, and there are more of them in South Korea. So that has made like a bad reputation for Thailand, and that has probably influenced the immigration officers to be more stringent in their measures in terms of immigration. And unfortunately, many Thais have become detained and later deported from South Korea for several reasons, as they claim that it's quite unreasonable. But then we cannot independently verify whether these accounts were actually true or not. These are just from their experience, but we haven't seen from the other side of it. But I managed to find some interesting information as to why Thais are being more suspected in terms of becoming illegal migrant workers or not. So for Thai visitors, Thailand are actually allowed to enter South Korea without a visa. So free visa for 90 days. But then as to why immigration officers may suspect you for illegal working there. So there are a few things. One of it is that when your passport photo is actually different from your actual face. This is one thing that they might suspect you for, like any suspicions or anything like that. So let's say your passport photo looks very professional, but then when they see your face, which looks completely different, they will already suspect you for something else already. Or another issue is like if your passports are too clean.
Yeah.
So if your passports are too clean, they might suspect you for illegally working in South Korea as well. So the one thing that people have suggested is that bring your old passport with you. So to prove that, okay, we're just here to travel.
Yeah.
Or some Thais have experienced this as well, is that if you have legalized your name, so simply if you changed your name, Thai people love to change their names for superstition and superficial reasons as well, for luck or whatever it is. But in Thai culture, when people change their names, they think it will bring good luck. But if you go outside of the country, the first thing that they will say is that, are you actually trying to escape from a crime?
Because you change the name, right?
Yeah, the reason why you change your name is because you're trying to escape from like a crime back in your home country. So the immigrations will be like, what are you doing? What are you doing here as well? And another thing that people might question as well is the length of stay here, the length of stay in South Korea. So let's say, even though you got a free visa for like 90 days, but if you stay in South Korea for like, let's say 20 days or 30 days, or for example, they will like suspect you that, okay, you're not here to travel anywhere. I guess you're here for work. So that is why you might get detained for questioning. These are just like the pitfalls so that people might not be prepared when they actually go to South Korea, because people only think that, oh, I'm here to travel. But some of the immigration officers are like, because they have been through a lot of cases where people have smuggled into South Korea, so that's why they have to be so stringent about it.
And I think one thing is preparation for the documents. Because in some cases, from what I heard, if that Thai person hasn't prepared the documents for staying, for example, like hotel information or even like a passport, as you said, they could be suspected by the immigrant staff.
Yeah, and another thing is that not only the length of stay, but like the case you mentioned is that if you're going in and out of South Korea many times, people will be like, you're not here for traveling, aren't you? You're just here to work. That is the first thing that they will think of. You're just here to work illegally. And this is what South Korean immigration officers do not like at all.
It's their duty, I think. It's their duty to think like that, to stay in the security of the country.
Right. But then if anyone is going to South Korea, just be safe than sorry, prepare all the documents, and especially your old passports and a flight ticket back to your home countries, and also a letter from your company proving that you will definitely come back to work after your trip into South Korea. So that will actually help you at least not being detained in South Korea for questioning and then sent back to Thailand.
Yeah, for me personally, I have to admit that I have no idea, I have no opinion in this issue because I've been South Korean one time. I've been there for 7 days and everything's smooth. I never get detained. And okay, I never faced that, so I don't know why. And it doesn't discourage me to travel there if I am like honest enough.
Right.
All right, now let's talk about AI. Well, nowadays we can use AI to create art pieces, but when it comes to asking AI to create arts based on Thai dishes, it may gone away, gone too wrong. So these are just a few examples of how Thai food is being interpreted when using AI to create just pictures. Well, a user from X tweeted hilarious to be food pictures generated by an AI program originally from AI Creative Facebook group. But it turned out that AI was confused when it was instructed with Thai language. The first picture was supposed to be a dish called Mu Ping Num Sot, as you can see here in the screen. Mu Ping Num Sot, which is a milk marinated grilled pork stick. But AI was too straightforward so that it generated the picture of a pig grilling a box of milk.
Oh my God. But this is too cute.
Yeah.
But like a pig trying to grill a box of milk.
Exactly. And next picture, the second one, well, it should have been a grilled biscuit topped on rice. But however, AI turned a beef dish to a crying tiger over a rice bowl. Since brisket in Thai is interpreted to เนื้อเสือร้องไห้ or crying tiger meat.
But this is also cute as well, like a crying tiger, and the tiger's tears actually made into a sauce.
Yeah, as you can see here.
Just wow, they're so clever.
Creative in the way. And the last picture here is a shrimp dancing picture from the Thai dish called Kung Ten, which is a raw shrimp salad, but AI took it too far wrong.
Oh my God, this is like a shrimp dancing to like a ballet. Is it supposed to be like a ballerina?
Yeah, it's too accurate sometimes.
Okay.
What I noticed is the audience down there. Why they are there?
Well, for the dance.
For the dance.
For the shrimp dancing performance.
Okay.
But this is pretty creative because like I think it's more like an interpretation of the Thai dishes, and whether it's intentional or like totally wrong. It's actually fun to watch, actually. It's like, look at that. Like a shrimp becoming a ballerina. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like so straightforward for the shrimp dancing. Like in the human sense, we even though we're Thai people, right? We never think that it's actually be like a shrimp dancing on the dish.
Yeah.
And see that there's also audience watching shrimp dancing there too.
Okay, I believe that it's more like a play on word. Like this, for example, like pigs playing in a waterfall. It's supposed to come from mu nam tok. Mu nam tok is like a spicy pork salad, but then they interpret it as mu, pig. And nam tok, waterfall. So it's like pig playing in a waterfall. Not like mu nam tok as in like a Thai dish.
Yeah.
So it's more like straightforward interpretation.
Yeah.
And this one is, what is this? Like,
Let me guess.
Khao pu.
Khao pu kek.
khao pu kek.
Yeah. Which mean crab, shrimp, rice bowl.
Okay, so like they actually made rice into like a sheep. Okay, that's pretty creative.
Oh, I just noticed
creative.
that. Oh, okay.
So this
Actually,
is like like a whole new way of interpretation of Thai dishes. So you can take it as AI taking it too straightforwardly, or it's just like a play on word, and then they actually interpret it like in a creative way.
Yeah.
So this is the typical mu ping. So like grilled barbecue pork.
Yeah.
So mu ping is supposed to be like that.
But AI took it to
But I don't get to this one.
the pig grilling a box of milk. Wow, I mean,
grilled pork made marinated with the milk.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I believe this one is supposed to be เสียงร้องไห้ the
Kung
real.
Ten, Kung Ten.
Oh,
No,
this is
Kung
Kung Ten,
Ten.
sorry.
Yeah, the raw shrimp.
The
Because
shrimp dancing, you mean?
Shrimp dust.
because they are alive and they cook up with
And I believe this one is
very chili paste.
This is เสือ
on
ร้อง
there.
ไห้ Am I right?
Is it a
Nam tok mu.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's the pig
Okay.
waterfall.
Yeah, pig waterfall.
Big waterfall.
Okay.
Oh,
How
it's
creative is
really
that?
interesting because like you know how AI we can use it to create dishes and
Yes.
I mean like we can go beyond
Yeah.
imagination with AI nowadays.
Yeah,
And
this is actually khao pu kek.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
As-
this is what AI told us is this kapuke is here.
because khao pu kek in Thai, the kek mean when you take the meat out of the shell.
Ah,
yeah.
right.
To get.
So
When-
like you peel something out of it.
Yeah, when you get, if you want to get your mobile phone, it's like get it out.
Ah,
Yeah.
like you peel something, you try to take something
to
out.
take something out. If you say pu get, it means you take the crab meat out of its shell. Yeah, it's like that. But get also means sheep.
Yeah, in Thai.
Yeah.
Anyway, are there any other dishes that we really want to see AI?
I think of one dish. Radna.
Rada.
หมูราดหน้า
Mu radna.
Okay.
If you just rada, it could be like you pour something on someone's
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
If you say mu radna, it might be the someone put the pig on
On
the
your face.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is gonna be really
Mu radna will
funny.
be like pig on your face like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really want to see is กล้วยบวชชี
กล้วยบวชชี
So กล้วยบวชชี is a type of dessert. So like banana in coconut milk. But if you go with straightforward interpretation, it
Yep.
could be a banana becoming a nun.
Yeah.
กล้วยบวชชี
Because what she is becoming a nun. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's also the name of the dish.
And also ส้มตำ
ส้มตำ
I really want to see how AI will actually interpret that.
Oh, ไก่ย่างส้มตำ
ไก่ย่าง
chicken
ส้มตำ
chicken a chicken grill orange and then smash it
No. In my opinion, if we talk to AI, it will be like two cookers. One is chicken, grilling something, and orange is doing
The pounding.
Okay.
the mortar.
Oh, okay, that's
ไก่ย่าง
really
and
funny.
ส้มตำ
But we can see that
grill.
AI is actually improving its technology,
Yeah.
and we will actually see AI becoming more accurate when it comes to creating something that it's related to
Yeah.
each of the cultures. So we'll have to wait and see how AI will actually learn these Thai dishes as AI continues to develop its features and
Yep.
all these things. But this is something fun to watch to begin with because we can see a whole new interpretation of Thai
Yeah.
dishes and Thai culture as well. And at the same time, even other aspects of Thai culture can be AI generated into like a scene from a Disney movie as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
this is something really fun to watch, and we cannot wait to see more of that.
All right.
All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Chat Room. Join us every Wednesday at 6 p.m. only on Thai PBS World. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ